I advise to the representative of the United States to be polite. It will be better for yourself and the country you represented. Thank you.
Frankly, I'm not going to dignify.
This is something to really consider. That kind of speaks on the real offense Iran is claiming to have, and I cannot confirm or deny if this brother is speaking facts. I can only react to it. What it do, my good people? Welcome back to the channel again. Man, has it been a crazy 2 weeks or what? First, a drug dealer is getting murdered. Second, the situation in Cuba. Now, America versus Iran. Man, the internet's going crazy. The world's going. But let's jump into this and see what's going on.
The United States has now chosen war with Iran, and the Middle East is on the brink of a historic escalation. After a regime change in Venezuela, Donald Trump has turned his full focus toward Tehran. Overnight, Trump issued a direct warning to Iran, making it clear that military action is no longer off the table. In response, Iran rejected all negotiations and declared it will defend itself at any cost. But here's where the situation explodes. Saudi Arabia has now issued a major warning to the United States. Saudi officials reportedly stated that if America launches an attack on Iran, Saudi Arabia will immediately halt oil supplies to the United States, a move that could shock global energy markets. Trump responded aggressively, saying America will not be pressured by oil threats and will act in its national interest. The situation is now extremely dangerous. Any U.S. strike on Iran could trigger a wider chain reaction. Trump looks ready to take the risk, Iran looks ready to respond, and Saudi Arabia may be using oil as its strongest weapon. Breaking news.
Man, we're living in them times, man. We're living in them times. Shit's getting closer.
The United States has...
Michael, we just got a breaking news update from CENTCOM that as of 9:30 this morning, 3 U.S. service members have been killed in action and 5 seriously wounded as part of Operation Epic Fury. Several others sustained minor shrapnel injuries and concussions. They are in the process of being returned to duty. Major combat operations continue, and it says, quote, our response effort is ongoing. The situation is fluid, so out of respect for the families, this is according to CENTCOM, we will withhold additional information, including the identities of our fallen warriors, until 24 hours after next of kin have been notified. But I did want to share that breaking news, and I also wanted to share this, bringing this in full, Michael, as we have just learned that 3 U.S. service members have been killed in action, 5 others.
Crazy times, man. I don't even know what to say about this.
Seriously wounded as part of Operation Epic Fury. Michael, we just got a breaking news update.
One word only. I advise to the representative of the United States to be polite. It will be better for yourself and the country you represented. Thank you.
Frankly, I'm not going to dignify this with another response, especially as this representative sits here in this body representing a regime that has killed tens of thousands of its own people and imprisoned many more simply for wanting freedom from your tyranny.
I bet you haven't seen this video.
Did Iran just shoot down 29 American fighter jets? Here's what we actually know. Social media reports are claiming massive American air losses following regional escalation.
Would you give your name and rank, please?
Colonel David William Eberly.
اسمي العقيد David William Eberly. What's your nationality, David?
United States.
الولايات المتحدة جنسيتي أمريكية. What's the kind of your plane and which squadron?
F-15 from the 4th Tactical Fighter Wing.
أقود طائر.
I'm not thinking that this is a video from what's recently going on right now. I'm thinking this is a video from some other war or some other situation that happened from before, because the camera doesn't look that clear. But at the same time, let's listen.
من طراز F-15 تعود إلى الجناح الرابع التكتيكي المقاتل. Where's the base of that squadron?
in Al-Kharj,
مقر ذلك السرب في خرج. And where is that?
in central Saudi Arabia.
وهي قاعدة في منتصف العربية السعودية. What was your target in Iraq?
Scud missiles and a
Okay, so this is just a different interrogation of just an American pilot that they caught. All right.
associated chemical facilities.
هدفي في العراق كان ضرب قواعد سكود ومعامل كيميائية ملحقة. And how were you shot down?
I don't know.
ولا أعرف كيف تم إسقاط طائرتنا. David, how were you injured in the neck, please?
I believe it was during the ejection or when I hit the ground.
أعتقد أن إصابتي في العنق حصلت إما في مرحلة القفز خارج الطائرة أو عند ارتطامي بالأرض بالمظلة. Would you give your name and rank, please?
Lieutenant Lawrence Randolph Slade.
اسمي الملازم Lawrence Randolph Slade. What's your age?
26.
وعمري 26 عاما. Nationality?
American.
وأنا أمريكي الجنسية. What's the kind of your plane?
F-14.
أقود طائرة من طراز F-14. From which squadron?
VF-103.
وتابعة للسرب المسمى VF-103. And where's the base of that squadron?
Saratoga.
ويعود ذلك السرب إلى حاملة الطائرات الساراتوغا.
He's not even looking at anyone. He's just looking down and stuff. I think that they know that they're in a very bad situation, but, you know, they're trained to be a certain type of person when stuff like this happens. So, you know, I don't think you're ever prepared to get captured, but, man, you can see the fear in his eyes, man. As much as he's looking down, and when that little subtle look that he gave with looking up, and he's only 26. Dang.
What was your mission?
Fire protection.
كانت مهمتي حماية لطائرات. Protection for what?
For the bombers. A6.
A6. وكان لي مهمة حماية طائرة قاصفة من فئة A6. And how were you shot down?
I don't know.
لا أدري كيف تم إسقاطي.
A flash of light. And the plane went out of control.
حصل هناك وهج كبير جدا أمامي لم أعد أستطيع السيطرة على الطائرة. And then did you?
And then I ejected.
You just ejected.
Yes.
ثم اضطررت إلى القفز بالمظلة. Would you give your name and rank, please?
Major Thomas Edward Griffith.
أنا الرائد توماس إدوارد جريفيث. What's your age, Edward, Thomas?
I'm 34 years old.
وعمري 34 سنة. Nationality?
American.
وجنسيتي أمريكية. And what's the kind of your plane, Thomas?
The F-15E.
في طائرة مقاتلة من طراز F-15E. Are you the pilot or the navigator?
I'm the navigator.
وأنا ملاح في الطائرة. From which squadron?
The 335th TFS.
تعود إلى السرب رقم 335 TFS. Where's the base of that squadron?
This is Al-Kharj
ومقره في قاعدة الخرج. And where is that?
in central Saudi Arabia.
في منتصف العربية السعودية. What was your target?
We were hitting targets in western Iraq.
وكنا نستهدف أهدافا في غرب العراق. And how were you shot down?
I don't know.
ولا أعرف.
Well, there's not much conclusion to that, but I hope that they, you know, they got released, but from seeing the comments here that it's a very old video and it's about 25 years ago. So I don't know why this popped up here, but hey.
Oh, hell no. Iran is on our ass again, y'all. And apparently, some of y'all are extra important to them. And if you live here, your ass might just be in trouble for missing your Uber. In DC, your ass is first. They got all the big people energy anyway. New York City, Big Apple, more like Big Target of coffee shops. San Francisco, Silicon Valley, pack your shit.
Man, see, this is the type of fear-mongering stuff that I was talking about, man. But then again, it is reality. Because, you know, these people have shown that they don't care about American lives, right? So, for a whole war to be going on right now, who knows if any of this is actually true? I cannot confirm or deny if this brother is speaking facts. I can only react to it, but
your Wi-Fi might just get jealous. Los Angeles, LA, Hollywood, baby, they on y'all ass too. No paparazzi. But y'all notice the pattern? Big cities, big tech, big whatever. Iran ain't playing.
That's what I'm saying, man. Places where, you know, a lot of people have no choice sometimes but to gather. You know, these people are, you know, but.
The same day that Trump takes out the Iranian supreme leader, reporter asks him who's going to take his place, and Trump's like, I don't know, I guess the position's open. I'm creating jobs in Iran too. It's too good. I'm trying not to laugh, but that is too funny.
Yo. Man. Human lives, certain human lives are just things on paper and money in pockets, man.
Hell is breaking loose as Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu's war against Iran is now backfiring. Iran is now retaliating against the United States and Israel's preemptive strikes, and it's bigger than expected. Now, Iran has officially acknowledged the death of Ayatollah Khomeini, and they have stated that they will be exacting a vengeance on anybody who was responsible for the preemptive attack, bigger than they ever have before. Specifically, a statement that comes from Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is as follows: we will make sure we engage in the most massive and powerful offensive operation in the history of the Islamic Republic, which will begin shortly against Israel and U.S. bases in the Middle East. In addition, Iran's parliament speaker, Mohammad Baghir Kalibaf, on Sunday called the leaders of the United States and Israel, quote, filthy criminals who will face devastating blows for their ongoing attacks on the Islam.
They ain't playing, y'all. They ain't playing, man. This is what I'm saying, man. This is not no fear-mongering shit, but this is something to really consider serious, man. Like, we've seen a lot of stuff going on, and they only lasted for, you know, a few days and stuff like that. But this shit look like it's gonna be going on for a while. But I don't know, man. I don't know. This summer is gonna be weird, really weird.
Islamic Republic, quote, you have crossed our red line and must pay the price. We will deliver such devastating blows that you yourselves will be driven to.
And the thing is, they're so confident. You know, they're so confident to be saying stuff like this to the most powerful, or what's considered to be the most powerful country in the world or on the planet. and they're this confident to be making threats like that, man. Something ain't right. But it ain't wrong neither, because certain things that are happening are supposed to be happening. But I ain't even go jump down that rabbit hole, y'all. Y'all can take this for what it is. You can take this for what it is, but hey, it's bigger than us.
Beg. Now that follows a social media post that Donald Trump made where he said, now that we've engaged in these preemptive strikes against Iran, hopefully the Iran Revolutionary Guard will join with others and they will take control of Iran and they will support Donald Trump and Netanyahu. And the response to that seems to be, no, that's not happening. And this is what Donald Trump's top generals and admirals and CIA and top intelligence specialists were warning Donald Trump about. Donald Trump posted late last night, Iran just stayed.
Soon enough, Twitter will just be a little platform. And when the real power comes into play to do certain stuff, you will see what separates the men from the boys. And right now, the states, oof, I ain't gonna say much, but wow.
That they are going to hit very hard today, harder than they have ever hit before. Then Donald Trump, in all caps, writes,
I hope he ain't really going down to try and make no Twitter beef out of this, man. This man is always on Twitter doing some nonsense, man. These are people's lives. This is the economy.
They better not do that, however, because if they do, we will hit them with a force that has never been seen before. Thank you for your attention to this matter, Donald J. Trump. I want to show you what is going on right now in Iran, as there have been massive protests all day. Now, let's be clear. There have been some protests out there and some people taking to the street who, of course, have been thankful and grateful that the Ayatollah has been killed. Authoritarian, repressive regime. So we've...
Yeah, and then there are going to be people that didn't like that. And as scary as it may seem, some of them might be across the border already, and that's what I'm talking about. People that share their beliefs don't necessarily have to be in the place of where certain actions are going on for them to be upset to take action against certain things within that place. So God bless America.
Seen some of that, but a lot of the images that we're seeing now are these massive rallies that are part of this 40 days of mourning, where in Iran there's like in these city centers and squares, it looks like there are hundreds of thousands of people who are chanting death to America, and they are demanding vengeance. That's what's happening in Iran. I'm just giving you the facts, folks, about what's actually happening, trying to cut through the propaganda and just give you the facts. So in Isfahan right now, just look how many people are in this city square demanding vengeance. Here, play this clip right here. All hell is breaking loose as Donald Trump and
It's a lot of people. It's a lot of angry people, man.
Benjamin Netanyahu.
That's a scary sight. That is a scary sight, man. If I'm supposed to ever wake up and see something like that or hear that horn? Oh.
At around 3 a.m., the United States and Israel launched major airstrikes on Tehran, the capital of Iran, targeting missile factories, nuclear sites, and IRGC military bases. Some reports say the strikes were also meant to target Iran's Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei, but there is still no confirmation about his condition. In response, Iran fired ballistic missiles at U.S. bases in the Middle East, including a direct strike on an American naval base in Bahrain. Iran also launched many missiles toward Israel, with explosions reported near Tel Aviv and Haifa. Missiles were also seen heading toward areas near Qatar, Bahrain, and the UAE, while warning sirens sounded in parts of Saudi Arabia. U.S. and allied air defenses tried to stop the attack and reportedly intercepted many of the missiles, but several still reached their targets. U.S. officials say more strikes on Iran could happen in the coming days, while Iran says it will continue attacking Israel, raising fears that this conflict could turn into a larger war. Follow for more updates on this.
It's the first of the month. So much has been going on. So here's a roundup. Firstly, Iran has launched a fresh new wave of attacks across the Middle East this Sunday morning. This is after the death of their supreme leader was announced with tears on national television. And the thing is, it wasn't just him. His daughter, granddaughter, daughter-in-law, and son-in-law were also killed, and huge crowds have gathered to mourn. Now, many of the Gulf nations targeted yesterday, including the city of Dubai, also are being targeted today. In fact, after the death of Iran's ruler of almost 40 years, just let that sink in, Iran has promised the most devastating offensive operation in their history. Now, because of that, the UAE is slowly being dragged into this war. When asked by CNN if they would switch to a more combative role, they said, "We're not going to sit idly by as we continue to be the recipients of such a barrage of attacks." And the situation is now spilling over into other countries too, as violent anti-US protests have now broken out at the US consulate in Pakistan. Hundreds of people pulled up almost out of nowhere, and they broke through security forces. There were clashes, they smashed up windows, they set fire to things, and 6 of the protesters have been killed. And then lastly, we've got an update. These strikes from the US and Israel on a girls' elementary school yesterday have now
Elementary school?
killed 148 with about 95 wounded. Now, it is important to note, though, that this school was located about 200 feet from a military base. So yeah, that's the first of the month roundup. Probably
bad aim, but at the same time, you know, this is devastating stuff to be hearing, man. Like, you know, yeah, I'm here safe in Canada and stuff like that, but I'm pretty sure a lot of innocent lives got lost in there, man. This is...
See you soon. Wake up!
Why Donald Trump decided to bomb Iran, and the reason will surprise you. Pay attention.
The reason that Donald Trump decided to bomb Iran was that the Israelis said, if you don't bomb Iran to take out these deep bunkers, we're going to use nuclear weapons. And they had never threatened that before. And so Trump said, bombing Iran might actually save us from the start of World War III if it keeps the Israelis from using nuclear weapons.
So according to your source, the Israelis told the President of the United States that if he did not use the United States military power to bomb the nuclear facilities in Iran, Israel, acting on its own, would use nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
Do you see why there's a problem with that statement, John?
Yeah.
Because they've never fucking admitted that they've had them.
That's right.
So you're telling me that they just admitted to the President of the United States that they have nuclear weapons and still do not have them in the IAEA treaty?
I mean, if Israeli nuclear whistleblowers are to be believed, yeah, they started working on them in the 50s. They got them around the late 60s or the early 70s.
I hope you...
Iran has destroyed an American Navy base in Bahrain, and it is still burning right now. Iranian drones have overwhelmed American bases in the region, and this is a radar that's worth $1 billion being blown up. Many residential buildings housing American soldiers in Bahrain are also being blown up by drones. What you're seeing is a direct strike of a ballistic missile on another Navy base in the region. This is yet again another explosion on an American base from an Iranian drone. And here is another explosion from an American munitions depot in Bahrain. Early detection radar systems such as this one right here are being blown up by ballistic missiles. This is a before and after of a radar base in Qatar. And here is a naval base, the second one in Bahrain, that is still burning into the night. It's really unclear how these Iranian drones and missiles are able to get through the American air defenses, as things are just catching fire. American air defenses are working even though it's costing millions of dollars. Call me your thoughts and follow me right here for the newest update.
Okay guys, serious breaking news. It is happening. The US and Israel have carried out major strikes on Iran. I'm not going to lie to you guys, this one is different. This is not a single operation like we saw from the US last year. And in Trump's own words, this is a massive and ongoing operation. He even referred to this as a war at one point in his 8-minute speech announcing these attacks. 5 Iranian cities have been bombed and Iran have already responded by firing missiles towards Israel. Trump said that Iran have missiles that can now reach Europe and soon the US homeland, so they cannot tolerate Iran ever having nuclear weapons. He then directly addressed Iranian armed forces, saying, lay down your weapons and you'll be given full immunity or face certain death. He then said that we're going to annihilate their navy, destroy their missiles, and raise their missile industry to the ground. He then, and this is where this things get serious, he then addressed the Iranian people. He's saying that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay in your homes. It's going to be very dangerous. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. So this does seem to be an operation that will last into the foreseeable future. And then he said, when we are finished, take over your government. This is to the Iranian people. It is yours to take, and this will probably be your only chance for generations. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. This is your one moment for action. Do not let it pass. This is what I said. This is not like last year. And even Netanyahu, he released a statement and he kind of echoed the same sentiment. He said to the people of Israel, their own citizens, he said, in the coming days, in Operation The Roar of the Lion, sorry, my arm is shaking, we will be all required to have endurance and fortitude. Now, as we all know, in recent weeks, we saw the largest buildup of U.S. military in the Middle East since the 2003 Iraq War. And now we're finding out exactly why. Make sure you guys follow because there's going to be a lot of updates in the coming hours and days. I'll see you soon. Okay, guys.
Man, we can only pray. We can only pray, y'all.
Guys, serious.
The president just announced that the United States has officially gone to war with Iran. I mean, this is huge. Moments ago, the United States warned Iran to surrender or die as it launched a major missile attack in cooperation with Israel this morning. Trump declared that he will raise their missile industry to the ground and warn troops in Iran to lay down their arms or face certain death. Trump said this was only the beginning of major combat operations in Iran that will last as long as needed. And
see, like, to hear stuff like that, it will last as long as needed. How do you feel for your life as a citizen of the country, right? And they're talking about stuff like sleeper cells and stuff like that. How do you feel about going outside? How do you feel about being amongst groups, especially with the, you know, the season coming up this year? You know, stuff like that, you know, man.
Many cities in Iran have already been hit, and Iran has even returned fire on Israel and even U.S. naval bases. He said this campaign is massive and ongoing, and American lives may be lost as a result. He then urged the people of Iran to take over their government and said it will be yours to take. This will probably be your only chance for generations. This is all happening right now and progressing as we speak, but let me know what you guys think about this, and as anything comes out, I'll keep you guys updated.
On March 1st of 2026, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps claimed that it successfully struck the USS Abraham Lincoln CVN-72, which is the U.S. aircraft carrier that went to the Middle East in preparation for these strikes. They claimed that they hit it with 4 ballistic missiles, and they framed it as part of retaliation for the recent U.S.-Israeli airstrikes, saying that it was part of Operation True Promise 4. Various Iranian state media outlets such as the Tasnim news agency and others reported this IRGC statement and asserted that the carrier was hit and warning that, quote, the land and sea will increasingly become the graveyard of the terrorist aggressors. However, U.S. Central Command posted about 30 minutes ago on their official X account saying, quote, Iran's IRGC claims to have struck the USS Abraham Lincoln with ballistic missiles. Lie. The Lincoln was not hit. The missiles launched didn't even come close. The Lincoln continues to launch aircraft in support of CENTCOM's relentless campaign to defend the American people by eliminating threats from the Iranian regime, or what most folks that are Iranian like to say, or they prefer you to say, is the Islamic regime. Now, in addition to that, there's no independent verification or evidence like satellite imagery, debris photos, or any types of things like that that have emerged to support the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps' claims of successful strikes on the carrier. Earlier in the day on...
Well, that kind of speaks on the real offense Iran is claiming to have and the threats that's being thrown. But then again, you know, if they have weapons, they can also be hiding their hand to a certain point. But to be making a bold statement like that, and it's a big ass ship that everybody can see, to say that y'all destroyed it, man. Well, what's going on? What's going on?
March 1st. About 45 minutes ago, the official U.S. Central Command X account posted this on their page saying, quote, an Iranian Jemarian-class corvette was struck by U.S. forces during the start of Operation Epic Fury. The ship is currently sinking to the bottom of the Gulf of Oman at Chabahar Pier. As the president said, members of Iran's armed forces, IRGC, and police, quote, must lay down your weapons, abandon ship. Now, the Jemarian-class corvettes that Iran built were Iranian-built guided missile frigates and corvettes that displaced around 1,500 tons, and they're multi-role vessels that are equipped for anti-surface warfare, anti-air defense, and anti-submarine capabilities, and are apparently supposed to represent a key part of Iran's domestic naval production efforts. Also, for those of you that aren't aware of the location, Chabahar is a port city in southeastern Iran that lies on the Gulf of Oman. About 45 minutes.
Well, as stuff develops, we'll see what's going on, people. All right, y'all, that's going to do it for this one, man. As much as this is developing, man, it is a lot. It's a lot to really seep in on what's actually going on. I feel it for my American people. How do y'all feel, man? You know, especially with the season that's coming up, summer. How do y'all feel about going outside? How do y'all feel about being in large groups? How do y'all feel about the situation overall? I'm over here in Canada, but at the same time, man, I'm praying for y'all. I just hope that y'all stay safe and y'all crazy ass president don't do nothing. Well, I think we can't do anything more stupid than this, but hey, all is fair in love and war, right? But that's gonna do it for this video. I really appreciate you guys for tuning in again. Don't forget to hit your boy up on Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat. Until another video, you already know. Peace.